the themes that we're playing with religion, but also his charisma. I think he's really watchable. His dynamic with Benoit is good. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've only seen Josh O'Connor in Challengers, and I really loved Challengers, and I loved him in it. And now I'm really excited to see him in. He's in the new Steven Spielberg UFO movie coming out this summer. I think he's like one of the leads in that.
Where were you? Photographing squirrels? You're fired.
Chief, the planetarium party.
Oh, right. You're unfired. I need you. Come here.
You don't have any friends. Nobody likes you. Not listening. Not listening.
I shot him 6 times. I shot him in the heart. This guy, this man, he's not human.
You think you could steal from us and just walk away?
Yeah. Back to another episode of Get a Load of This Movie, a franchise movie podcast where we talk about movies that are part of a franchise. That means at least 3 movies or more. In this episode, we are finishing a trilogy. We're in the middle of going back and forth between Knives Out and Avatar, and we are finishing the Knives Out trilogy as it stands right now with Wake Up, Dead Man. That is now streaming on Netflix, so go watch that and then come back and keep up with us. But I don't really have anything. I know we did have some news that Zach wanted to talk about before we really get started on the episode.
Zach
Is that how you want to
said
phrase
it's
it?
very important that we talk about
I'm
this.
gonna okay.
You wanted to talk about this. Is that
You
bad?
did say
The way that
you
you
wanted
say
to
it
talk
is, it
about
made it sound like here's a fun little anecdote.
Okay, I'm sorry. No, there was some news. There was some news recently, and
Right. So Rob Reiner,
it was important that we.
director, actor Rob Reiner died recently, and obviously the manner in which he did is awful. Him and his wife. Obviously, not going to get into that, but just to keep it, positive on him as a director and his legacy. What's your favorite Rob Reiner movie? Cole, I'm sure you have one. You've probably seen more Rob Reiner movies than I have. I realize when looking at his filmography, there's a lot of big ones I have not seen.
He has a solid 6-movie run. I mean, it's probably a tie between The Princess Bride and A Few Good Men. I can admit A Few Good Men is probably a better movie. It's probably more creative, likely him, like the way he does that. But I will say, I love A Princess Bride. It makes me feel like a little kid. I feel like Fred Savage's character throughout the movie when I'm watching it. Like, that's what it brings me back to. So I would say it's a strong tie between those two. Stand By Me is a very close second, though.
Stand By Me is
And
really good.
When Harry Met Sally is also a phenomenal movie.
Haven't seen it. Have not seen that one.
Really?
Yeah, need to get on that
Neither.
one.
Corey,
Mine too.
you're having.
I was gonna say the only films that I know him from directing is Princess Bride and A Few Good Men. But the way I was introduced to Rob Reiner and got to know him was through New Girl.
Not
who
what I thought
played
you were
Zooey
going to say.
Deschanel's dad. What you thought? Oh,
That Wolf of Wall Street is what I associate him with as an actor. I see that clip, the clip of him coming in with the bill
yeah.
about the lunch or the credit card bill. But yeah, the expensive sides that did cure cancer.
Sides? You spent 10
And
sides?
and
26.
EJ Entertainment. What the hell is EJ Entertainment? Oh yeah, Jordy, what is EJ Entertainment? That scene is really good. In terms of I've only seen, looking at his filmography now, I've seen 5 movies that he has directed. Oh wait, scratch that, reverse it. 4. I've seen Few Good Men, Misery, Princess Bride, and Stand By Me. So there's some big ones there I have to see, like Harry Met Sally. I've never seen Spinal Tap, either one of them. He started with
I
a Spinal
need to
Tap,
watch
he ended with a
Spinal
Spinal Tap. Because Spinal Tap 2 was his last movie that came out this year. Yeah, I've also never seen The American President. It looks like his movies, the latter handful probably didn't, they didn't get the notoriety that the first half of his career did. But of the 4 movies I've seen that he directed that I mentioned, they're all like 8.5 or above out of 10 for me. So it really is motivating me to watch more. I mean, especially American President and Harry Met Sally, Spinal Tap. Like those three are some big ones. I think for me personally, though, I would go Few Good Men. I think that script. I know we probably brought it up on a post-credit scene on here at some point. Because I remember when I rewatched it sometime in the past year, I was just like, this movie just moves, and it is really sharp. And obviously the performances are incredible. So I'd go with that one. But it really, any of those four, it's hard to go wrong with any of them. So yeah, obviously horrible tragedy. It really just did make me take a look at his overall career. And the thing that stands out to me about it is like these classics that he has, you can't like lump him into like a genre. You can't be like, oh, John Carpenter, classic director. Obviously, he's known for horror and sci-fi movies.
Right.
Or like, oh, everyone knows Mel Brooks. You know, he's a comedy director. You know, he's got classic comedies. Dude, Few Good Men, like courtroom drama. Misery, horror movie. Harry Met Sally, romantic comedy. Spinal Tap, mockumentary, rock and roll mockumentary. Misery. Yeah. Princess Bride, fantasy adventure. I mean, it's just like they're all so distinct, and like Stand By Me, like coming of age type of drama. I mean, it's just, yeah, I don't know.
He was also a phenomenal actor. I haven't seen there's been so many clips I've been seeing from All in the Family, which he won 2 Emmys on. That's famous for the character of Archie Bunker. But he plays funny and sincere in such a great way. And I watched the first episode of New Girl he appeared in, and his first line is great because Jess is trying to parent trap her parents. I'm just setting the scene. And he goes, you know what I'm thankful for? Divorce. That is how we are introduced to his character. I can picture him saying that.
That's not a bad impression there, Cole.
He's phenomenal. Great actor, great director, and apparently, I didn't know this, a fantastic humanitarian. So,
all right. Well, with that,
very sad.
Short episode today. No call sheet. So with that, we can move right on into the. Oh, unless you have something else. What do you have?
I did put a call sheet together.
Wow! Look at this. All right.
Well, keep this brief.
Go ahead. Okay. Go ahead. Well, let's do it.
On to the call.
Hello. You don't know me, but I know you. I want to play a game. There is only one key to open the device. It's in the stomach of your dead cellmate. You better hurry up. Live or die. Make your choice.
Sheet.
Do you want to play a game?
I just wrote a regular 4-question and a bonus for this call sheet. Nothing too crazy. We're not reinventing the wheel. I think this one does the best with our audience and does the best with you guys. You guys seem to appreciate it. So you guys are going to go ahead and text me your answers. We have 4 questions, and then the bonus question, of course, is closest to the pin. I think you guys both do. So I don't have any hints for you, nothing like that. You're going to have to give an answer. I think I tried. I don't know a ton of trivia about Wake Up Dead Man, and I don't think anyone really does yet. I think that stuff is things that come out more as the movie's out. It comes out more as the movie comes out a little bit more. So I try to make 2 of them pretty hard and 2 of them pretty easy. So we're going a little bit even here. But without further ado, on to question number 1. Josh O'Connor really launched himself into the sphere of recognition with challengers. Lots of these actors have been in that sphere for a while now, like Glenn Close and Callie Spaney. Is that how you say her name?
Kaylee, I think.
Callie Spaney.
Kaylee Spaney. I'm sorry.
You said the last name right. I know that.
Okay. Callie Spaney. We even Kaylee Spaney. I'm sorry.
Correction. Immediately ignored.
I was just like, what was the point of even stopping? You know, if you weren't going to get it right.
I was worried about her last name. And so when you said last name correct, I didn't even think about it. Anyway, we've even covered Alien Romulus with Kaylee Spaney with Kaylee Spaney. Nice. But what other movie series did we cover that had Glenn Close appear? Okay, this is where you text me the answers. I don't know if you're familiar or if you've been a part of any of these shows.
There was a solid 5 seconds of fear there where I was like, man,
we don't know this.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. But I got it.
I see it. Okay, Cole, waiting on yours.
Can I get a hint? Can I use my special game?
No, I'm afraid not.
It was a trilogy that we covered. There you go.
Oh, what the hell is this? What the hell is the hint for? I want a hint later.
Most of the movies we do are trilogies.
I shot in the dark.
Question number 2. This movie takes place in New York State. We wouldn't have known that really without word of mouth by them and like kind of saying, oh, we're here in
Shot
New
in
York.
England, yeah. Was that your question? That was your
But
question.
this was not filmed in the Great Union. Where was it mainly filmed?
Did you just call it a great union?
Yeah, it was not filmed in this Great Union. That's what I wrote down. Where was it mainly filmed? I guess that's
I'm
a free
gonna
point for
guess
both of you.
Saskatchewan, Canada.
Send it in.
I'm
Please.
filming in Saskatchewan.
Question number 3. Thomas Church's character, Samson, is just trying to watch baseball and have a drink like any true American, okay? But God keeps getting in the way time after time. But what MLB team is Samson cheer for? Or does Samson cheer for? I'm sorry. Okay, I have an answer from each of you. Moving on to question number 4. This movie is filled with lots of big-name actors and fun cameos. What cameo did your co-host help get put into this movie? And bonus point, where was this cameo scene?
Repeat that question.
This movie is filled with lots of big-name actors and fun cameos. What cameo did your co-host help get put in this movie? Bonus point, where was the character scene?
Was it your sister?
The hell are you talking
This is 100% true. This is 100% true.
Co-host.
Co-host.
So
There's 3 of us,
so you.
And it wasn't me.
and I'm asking you guys, so you guys don't know. So obviously it was me.
You got someone put in the movie.
I helped with a
I got
cameo in this movie.
0 of these right. I just know that.
I helped with the cameo in this movie. What is my job?
It's like Chandler and the Friends. No one knows. What do you? You're a
Cole
cameo
knows. Cole just-
placer. You're a cameo placement.
Damn, that is my job.
How about
Cole, do you have an answer? I saw that you unsent your original. Are you throwing another dart at the board?
I don't know if you're allowed to throw 2 darts.
He unsent the first one, and I think the first one was just like, I don't know, man. Okay, I have an answer from Zach. I think we're going to have a winner here.
I don't fucking
And
know.
then Cole just sent not even close to anything with the last one. Okay, bonus question. Rian Johnson is a writer-director on this movie, but how many films has Rian Johnson written? According to Letterboxd, sorry. How many is he attributed to writing on Letterboxd? I'm looking for a number closest to the pin. Even though I think we have a winner. I have an answer from Cole. I have an answer from Zach. Okay, let me count really quick. Okay, we do have a winner. I'm going to go through these questions and we're going to go over to the bonus. Josh O'Connor really launched himself into the sphere of recognition with challengers. Lots of these actors have been in that sphere for a while now, though, like Glenn Close and Kaylee Spaney.
Spaney.
Nice.
We even covered Alien Romulus with Kaylee Spaney. But what movie series did we cover with Glenn Close? Zach, what was your answer?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Cole, what was your answer?
I said Cars. I was like,
And it was Guardians of the Galaxy. That is a point for Zach. On to question number 2. This movie takes place in New York, but it was not filmed in this great union. Where
Stop
was it
saying
mainly
great union.
filmed? You guys both got this correct, thanks to Zach. It was the UK. You guys said England. I took it. Question number 3. Thomas Church's character, Samson, is just trying to watch baseball and drink like a true American. But God just keeps getting in the way. What MLB team does Samson cheer for? You guys both got this correct. Cole, what was the answer?
Cubbies.
It is the Cubs. That is 2-3 in favor of Zach. On to question number 4. This movie is filled with lots of big-name actors and fun cameos. What cameo did your co-host help get put in this movie? Bonus point, where was that character seen? Zach sent a picture of an alligator. Cole, you said, who did you say, Cole?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Who did you say at first?
Becca Keithley.
Yeah, he unsent my sister's name.
I
To
assumed
send-
he told
Sent someone that if I knew. Anyway, I work for the National Crime Prevention Council, if anyone doesn't know that. And
Right.
one of the characters
Right.
we have is McGruff
McGruff.
the crime dog.
I
And if you
remember
look
him.
If you look in the movie, in the sheriff's office, there is a McGruff suit in the back. And I
Well,
fucking
my
cool, dude.
goodness.
assisted in that, and we got paid for that cameo there. So McGruff got paid for his performance here. And I was
If
emailing
I
with some
had
of the
noticed,
producers about
here's the
that.
thing, if I had noticed him, I would have known. It's not that I didn't know that he was associated with you. It's just I missed it. I wasn't looking at
I'll be
him.
honest, I missed it too.
If we were in
Friend of the
Mila
pod,
Kunis's
Jack Brown.
office, were we in Mila Kunis's office then?
Mila Kunis's office.
I wasn't
yeah,
looking
it was
at
Mila
McGruff.
Kunis's
I
office.
wasn't.
Yeah, no. But he was just on the shelf right behind her. I can send some pictures and we can put that up on the Instagram as
You
well.
could have told me,
Dude,
like,
that's
William
fucking
Taft
dope.
was behind her, and I wouldn't have noticed.
The killer, it was actually labeled. It said this person did it right behind her, and no one knew. So that was a point for neither of you. So Zach wins 3-2. But we're moving on to the bonus scene. Who's getting closest to the pin? Rian Johnson is a writer director on this movie. But how many films has he written, according to Letterboxd? Zach, you said 7. Cole, you said 10. On Letterboxd, it's 12.
Wow.
He's attributed to 12 movies. I know. I was actually pretty surprised, too. So, Zach, you still won. Congratulations. On to the action.
Even the opening scene, there's always some random girl who gets a call that undoubtedly ends up getting her killed. It's also predictable. There's no element of surprise. You can see everything coming.
Did that surprise you?
Why?
Because you talk too much. Now shut the fuck up and watch the movie.
Zach, why don't
This
you
is-
go ahead and start?
This is usually
This
the
is
part where
usually
Cole
where-
does the summary, actually.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
I understand
Cole,
you're
I
new
can-
here. I understand that you're
movie.
new
I
here
didn't
on
watch the
episode
movie.
106, I think, that we're on for the podcast.
And I
Gosh, we missed 100.
understand you want the episode
We
to go
did
fast.
pass 100, and I forgot to mention it. I don't remember which one it was.
Great.
But yeah, we are in the 100. We're on the
Great.
triple digis now.
Cole, I forgot to watch the movie.
That's
Didn't
awkward.
watch it at all. I'm going to need you to tell me what happened.
Would love second.
Yeah,
Sorry.
take your time.
Sound like you want to.
I want to so bad. You don't even know.
How bad?
Judd Duplessis, a former boxer turned Catholic priest, is reassigned to a rural New York parish after punching a deacon and becomes assistant pastor under Monsignor Jefferson Wicks. Parish is scarred by history. Wicks' grandfather, Prentice, manipulated his daughter Grace with a false inheritance, leading her to ransack the church and destroy its crucifix.
Was it a false
Judge?
inheritance?
I mean, kind of.
What happened?
Yeah, go ahead.
Judd clashes with Wicks over his harsh preaching, which has driven away most parishioners. During a Good Friday service, Wicks is found stabbed with a knife made from a devil head ornament Judd had earlier stolen, placing suspicion on Judd. Police Chief Geraldine brings in Benoit Blanc, who believes Judd is innocent and enlists him in the investigation. The congregation reveals Wicks had recently rejected his followers and claimed to have found Prentice's fortune, planning a political future with Cy Drabin, his illegitimate son. Judd withdraws from the case, but later appears to witness Wicks resurrect and is attacked and awakens beside the murdered groundskeeper Samson. Blanc uncovers that Dr. Nat Sharp killed Wicks and staged the illusion, but the deeper mystery of the resurrection remains unsolved. Martha, the church's secretary, confesses that Prentice swallowed the diamond and she orchestrated Wicks' murder and the resurrection scheme to protect the church. Nat betrayed her and she dies after confessing and receiving absolution. A year later, Judd reopens the church as Our Lady of Perpetual Grace, and the missing diamond is revealed hidden inside a new crucifix. Remember, guys, your inheritance is with Christ.
Now you want me to talk? Is it now you want me to go, Corey? Okay. Would you say, obviously, first movie, there's like a class divide between like the Thromby family and Marta. Even they treat her nice at first because it's nice on their terms, and once it becomes clear that she is a single, possible threat to their wealth, they turn on her and show their true colors, their true character. And you could call that a class movie, like we talked about it. It's not hard. That's not a deep reading. Would you say Glass Onion's a class movie? Would you say it is it's about class disparity, wealth. I think
I don't
less
think
so
it's
than Knives Out, but is it there? Is it, you think that's what it is?
I don't think that one has as much class disparity. That one's more of like about like hangers on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know what you would even call that because they're all technically rich people. They just require miles to be rich.
Yeah, that's a good twist on it. Either way, maybe not class commentary. It's still money. Money is the primary focus. And while
Yes.
money plays a role here in the final motive that we figure out, it definitely takes a backseat to kind of the themes we're playing with, which seem more like it's religion. We're doing a lot of exploration of faith in this movie, which coming off of two movies, of back-to-back movies of, like, I'm not a bootlicker here, but rich people shaming in the past two movies. I'm fine with it. Not like I was offended, but like it's nice to switch up the formula here, I think, to make kind of re-aim, the narrative focus, the thematic focus of what we're doing here. So like, I don't know, like I think it, especially when we're dealing with, a mystery movie, the inherent connection between mystery and faith, I think it actually is kind of right. It's a great grounds for setting up a mystery plot line like this. So I don't know. Did the religion aspect of this movie, do you think that enhanced it for you, or like did it add any weight? Was it just like set dressing?
I mean, it's a beautiful aesthetic. I think the church is a great like grounds for like where to set the story.
Love the church look. The church looked great.
It's kind of like this weird like neo-Gothic design to like what Catholic churches are now.
Neo-Gothic.
It's a beautiful backdrop. That being said, I mean, yeah, it's just that. It's the backdrop. The theme is money. The theme is lost inheritance. It is how money corrupts. This guy, Nat, was so obsessed with being a good person, being in the church. And then when his life went to shit and he turned to booze, and then when he had a chance to get it back through money, he took that. Monsignor Wicks is a metaphor for how people take faith and they turn it into hate-filled speech and they use it for power, of course. He is, in fact, another example. Once money came into the picture, once he could make money to get out of this place, which I love, like the hard cut to him sitting with Cy, and this first line is, "I hate this place." But I think it works so well because, yeah, it's like, yeah, faith is powerful. Faith is really powerful. And I think Judd shows that. Judd is the best example of that. But in the end, it all comes down to money. It all comes down to the diamond.
Will say that I guess I wasn't necessarily thinking about it because I was thinking about this more in terms of faith, but I guess that is because it was the set dressing of it all, and they were there were like those themes that they were keeping with the entire time. But at the end of the day, like the motive was still money and trying to keep money out of certain people's hands or trying to take money for yourself. And is that the third movie in a row that we've gotten that as the source of evil for the main person?
Rian Johnson's themes are money doesn't corrupt because it didn't corrupt Marta, or we don't at least see it corrupt Marta.
Yeah, we don't know. Probably not.
Money keeps you hanging on, and
these themes.
Money overpowers faith.
Okay. I do think you do make a good point there, Cole, with that it comes down to money in the end because that's what corrupted Nat. That's what made Nat deviate from the plan because at the end of the day, he got the diamond in his hand and he deviated. He he ended up killing Thomas Hayden Church's character and betraying Glenn Close's character. Glenn Close clarifies it started with good intentions. It didn't start with her. She said her plan was to throw it in the ocean or get rid of it somehow, the diamond. So in that way, and because Nat is such a nothing character to me, and maybe we can talk more about that later, and Glenn Close is like clearly the main kill. Like if we're talking about like in terms of like Scream films, every movie with like 2 killers, it's clear who's the main killer and who's the tag along. You know, Glenn Close is the main killer. She's the Billy. You know, so I think the themes with her more are, it's not money, it's faith, because it's, you know, about the effect that this resurrection, quote unquote, of Josh Brolin's Monsignor Wicks would have. And I think we're dealing a lot with like the way some Christians perceive Christianity in the world, thinking like they're under attack, and how you cultivate support through fear and hate, and then you juxtapose that with our main character, Josh O'Connor. What's his name again? I'm sorry, Father Judd. Father Judd. You deviate, you juxtapose that corrupted version of faith and religion with Father Judd, who is not perfect, is struggling, but is clearly trying to live out his faith as best he can to what he believes it should be. I think that the focus more is on religion and faith than money, I think, in this, which it is a breath of fresh air to me. And while, you know, there maybe like, I am glad that you brought that up, Cole, that it did come down to money in the end. You know, you could argue that is part of, you know, religion a lot of times, probably not even just Christianity, like a bunch of religions at the end of the day, you know, even you could say certain online, you know, any belief system could kind of come down to this, is like, you know, you're inspiring people, quote unquote, and you're rallying them, but at the end of the day, you're taking their cash, and you're giving them a cause to believe in, and then you're taking your cash. Like at the end of the day, like, okay, like, oh, the big mega Joel Osteen church, or Austin church, whatever that guy's name is, the mega church guy, you know, okay, big, you know, he's pushing his faith and he's, you know, promoting Christianity, but like, you know, this guy's like a millionaire, you know?
Yeah.
So
It's
like
the righteous gemstones.
yeah. I mean, that's the satire of the real, you know, type of thing that we're talking about there. So yeah, money is present, but I think the religious thing is kind of a breath of fresh air here. And I was listening to a podcast with Rian Johnson, and it's called Script Apart. This guy who just, you know, interviews writers about their movie, and kind of, it's a really great podcast. I recommend it. And he gets big names on there to talk about their movies. And he just did obviously one with Rian Johnson with Wake Up Dead Man, and they're talking about it. And Last Jedi came up, and because Rian Johnson clarified in this podcast, he clarified in the Q&A that I saw when I saw Wake Up Dead Man, that he has a complicated relationship with religion and Christianity. He grew up very religious in a very conservative religious environment. I think he said, was it Methodist? I think he said Methodist. I don't know. I'll double check that. But either way, it doesn't matter. The point is, it was an environment that he was enraptured in and then excommunicated himself from, or got out of. And he's now a non-believer, is what he clarified.
Evangelicalism.
Sure. And either way, he lost his faith, and he didn't like the person that it was making him become, what have you. Either way, he's got a complicated relationship with now. And I think you can see in the interviewer, in the Script Apart, the host of the podcast, he pointed out the similarities there between, you know, maybe Father Judd going through it in this movie, the ideas that Rian Johnson's exploring with that character and these themes, and Luke in Rise of Skywalker, or not Rise of, oh God, Luke in Last Jedi. And, you know, like the kind of loss of faith there. And even though Rian Johnson is now, he's not like a devout Christian now, not like he circled back, but there is something to be said about losing your faith, thinking that it's been corrupted, thinking that, you know, it's a lie, thinking that you've been contaminated by it, and like it's actually not as beautiful as you thought, and then coming back around to seeing the good that it can offer. And that's what I do love about this movie and its depiction of religion, is that it's not taking a firm stance in either direction. It shows I mean, Benoit Blanc is, you know, he's the smartest guy in the room at all times, and he's a non-believer, and he doesn't like circle around at the end and say, oh, now I'm a believer, but he can see the benefit of it. But Father Judd, he represents what it should be, even though he's not perfect. I think kind of taking a fair look at religion here, kind of like what Rian Johnson does in Last Jedi, with like the belief in like the Jedi Order, the power that mythos has, or whatever, even though they're not perfect, as we've talked about. I think there is a connection there, and I find it really satisfying. It's a really good whole view of it. So like, do you guys see any connection between Wake Up Dead Man's like treatment of faith or loss of it, and then return of it, to like the way Rian Johnson explores it in Last Jedi with Luke?
I mean, there's the cynic, I mean, in Luke, but also there's what Yoda says to him at the end where he like kind of tells him like, yeah, it's being a Jedi. It's not all you want it to be, but it's not what that should be. And, you know, I think that's exemplified in Judd when he's screaming at Blanc, like, my job is to not crucify the wicked, but like bring them in and lead them to Christ.
Very
you know?
Jedi, minus the Christ part.
Yeah. The Fourth.
We win by saving what we love, not destroying what we hate. That's the difference between Monsignor Wicks, who's going crazy and being like, you know, blah blah blah, do that sin, blah blah blah, like, and like casting people out of the church for their, you know, quote unquote sins. And what Father Judd tries to do, which is, you know, show grace and be welcoming and try to help people. It is kind of like the juxtaposition there. It's the same thing with you know, what being a Jedi is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, go on, Corey.
Well, I was gonna say I don't know if I ever made like the connection, even though I know Rian Johnson did both of them. I don't know if I ever made the connect. Like, yes, there's a very religious and spiritual presence in Last Jedi, and I guess we can see the almost what the like who they would be if they were in the Last Jedi to this, and like Father Judd would be like a Rey type character, I think.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Believing in it, but like still young in it and still wanting to like learn more and still wanting to spread what she has been taught or what Judd has been taught. And then like Father Wicks would probably be the closest to like Kylo Ren, where it's like,
yeah,
you know, and like burn it down. We can only rule through anger, and like we can only do such and such with bad, and like we have to be strong and stuff like that, because they also talk. But I think if we're connecting them like that, I honestly do think that Luke Skywalker would probably be Benoit Blanc in that scenario. With it's not a direct correlation because what?
No, I said, look at this guy go. You're making some. you're
Well, I'm
on
saying
a roll. Keep on
just
going.
because like he comes in and he's very skeptical of religion, and I think Luke comes in a very similar way. And at the end, it's not that, like you said, Zach, he doesn't like succumb to it and he says like, oh, now I believe and now I'm part of it. And Luke does ultimately come to the conclusion that like, no, this is correct. I think they just both come to the conclusion of what the purpose of religion or of the Force is, to be like that connecting factor, you know? And I think that's what Benoit Blanc realizes, and that's one reason he stops where he does when he's going through all the explanation. And I think that, what are you laughing about?
Just love that scene because when he says Damascus and Judd doesn't get it like right away, he gets so pissed off.
Yeah, but like that's like him, like the walk to Damascus, the thing that he was talking about, that could be Luke's like Force walking and like kind of coming to that conclusion there. So I think like even though he doesn't succumb to it, I think he really does I don't know, not explanation, but like the way they're trying to portray Christianity, because he is a priest of the like he was. I think they are like
really
they're portraying
on a type of Christianity.
If you're a priest,
no, but I mean,
I think priest is inherently Catholic.
Yeah,
I think every other
priest
denomination goes by like pastor or reverend, whatever.
Yeah, and I think he's a priest, and they have like a bishop and Monsignor,
I don't
which
think
is
yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, okay, Catholic, yeah.
But it beside the point, like I think they treat it with like a lot of reverence, but also like there's danger to this. And I think if we're connecting it back to Glass Onion, there's a really big connection between Miles Braun and Monsignor Wicks.
Ooh.
Like they have different versions of power. Miles has this like all this fortune, and Wicks has all this like the charisma that Sai keeps talking to him about that he has. And they use both of it just to keep people in check and keep people around them and kind of alienate others.
Mm-hmm.
Miles does it a little bit, probably a little bit more through like, hey man, like it's all cool, you know, like a little bit like a.
This is more of a grifter.
Yeah,
though.
He can
He's
offer
not
money.
using.
I think
you know?
Monsignor Wicks is also quite a grifter in this by how he does.
Miles offers
He holds
money
himself.
and luxury and that sort of power, whereas Monsignor is offering something far less financial, but something, you know, maybe more personal and more powerful in that way with faith. And that's why I think it's so much more interesting. Because, Corey, you talked about in Glass Onion a come down for you coming off of the original one was the competency of the characters. And like, we're watching some silly folks being silly. And I do think Glass Onion is a funnier movie than this. I thought it was funnier than the original one. This is definitely this has less jokes than Glass Onion, but I enjoyed being in this environment with these characters more, because I'm not, obviously there's some silly stuff, especially with like Psy's Psy's like the only one aspiring to be like a character from Glass Onion. Like he's trying to get to that like kind of like superficial level of like relevancy. But every other character here, they feel a bit more tangible. Obviously, they're still a bit eccentric out of reality because it's a movie. They're not quite as grounded, but it's not as kind of like goofy as it is in Glass Onion with some of these characters, like Birdie J or Dave Bautista's character. I mean, Leslie Odom's character was pretty grounded, but he was like really the only one out of that ensemble. So
and Catherine Hahn had a pretty grounded character for the most part.
Yeah, but she's still more either way. These are smaller people in the sense of relevancy, and they have their own little lives, but yet things still feel more important here. Even on the small scale, things feel more important. But I'm curious, Corey, did these characters, did this ensemble work better for you? Just coming off of Glass Onion, even on the smaller scale with like their effect on the world.
So it did. I don't think like largest like scale to life, like they have to be bigger than life characters. I don't think that really has an impact. I was excited when I was watching the movie and we were meeting all the characters before we really met, or before Benoit Blanc was introduced into the movie. I was like, okay, these are like, we have a doctor, we have a lawyer, we have like, I mean, these are pretty smart people. Like the Monsignor's pretty well spoken. I mean, you had Samson, but like even Samson 1 didn't have that many. I mean, he had a big role towards the end, but didn't have that many lines. But I think all the other characters, I mean, we had a fantasy writer, or we had a writer, we had all these people. And so I was like, okay, I think this is going to be much better in terms of how they talk to one another. And I think it was a step up from the last one. I don't think you're going to reach the high highs of the first one. And maybe I'm just looking back on it with rose-colored glasses at this point, and maybe I should watch it again because maybe it is closer to this, but I think the actors just might have meshed better together, and that's what it's missing in this one. But I still think this is, without giving anything away, I did like this one, the ensemble, more in this one because they did feel a little bit more real, and they didn't feel like, I mean, maybe a bit time-stamped with Psy, but I think we might just have to accept that
like,
that's like
the camera with the weird like mic.
Always recording. I think it's more of a me thing. I have to accept that might just be the world now.
Don't accept
there's
it.
going to be
Never
someone like
accept
that
it.
all the time. Like,
Don't.
I mean, it's kind of true. You're always going to see someone at dinner at a table across the restaurant taking a picture of their food. You're always going to see someone walking down the street. What? Well, you're going to see someone down the like walking down the street interviewing people if you're in a big city. I mean, maybe it's just something that we have like
Those
I
are
have
my
to get used to. And like
favorite videos, people like kind of interviewing people on the street with that stupid little like fuzzy little mic that they hold in their fingers. I get like the way I have like a cringe physical reaction to like ASMR. That's how I feel when I see people.
But I think
that.
I think Ryan is recognizing that just might be like how the world is, and he doesn't see it as time stampedness. So maybe I have to like kind of take the foot off the gas in that aspect and not fight that battle as much.
This one,
but I think overall, to answer your question, Zach, the ensemble did work a lot better together, and they worked because I thought all of them were more competent characters, even though they were encouraged to be incompetent by the main antagonist.
Go ahead, Cole.
So Corey, are you Catholic?
Yep. Say something, Daria.
Well, I'm also Catholic. Zach's the outlier here.
Sweet little altar boys. I really liked in Catholic school when I had to always just out myself as non-Catholic by crossing my arms to make sure everyone in there knew I was different. That was really nice. I really liked that.
Do you like that?
Yeah. That's what you guys
I like pointing at them. I always like pointing at them.
There's something out like the people in the church community that felt almost real to me. You have the doctors, you have person who feels like they're too good to be there. Like,
who's that person?
It felt real, but it also showed something that I really thought was realistic, which is how these priests become part of the community. Growing up, we had a priest in my parish, and at one point, he was really the only guy for like 10, 15 years. he still goes out to dinner with my parents. Like, I'm not going to say his name or anything so people can look him up, but he was a part of the community, and he's
a cool
a guy who, like, even after he moved away, like, and so I think it does take a stand. This is to add to your point, Zach. It takes a stance in that Father Wicks does this thing that I think creates this vilification, which Judd is the good side. He tries to be their friend outside. He takes confession, but he's also like, you know what? This does stay between us. I respect you. You are my friend. Wicks takes what they tell him and he uses it so vindictively and cruelly. And that scene where he like lambasts them for all the stuff that they've done, how he's going to out Nat for treating patients while
Probably should.
drunk, definitely should do that.
I was going to say, even if you're a priest and someone tells you, like, yeah, I'm a doctor and I go to work drunk, you're like,
I think priests have their own form of HIPAA, though.
They do.
Anyway, yeah. But anyway, that being said, and taking all of Kaylee Spaney's money, which, like, that part was beyond fucking dark.
Her ending is kind of the only one, besides Psy, obviously.
It's uplifting. It's uplifting.
No, I don't. Well, no, I was gonna say it's actually the one where it might not be, because like her face, I rewinded it and watched it, where they're zooming in on her playing the cello, and like Father
Still in
Judd is
pain.
talking about like,
It's about the strength to
their
fight.
own relief is just realizing that this is just what they have to do, and they have to get through it, or something along those lines. And she does
Daily
not
bread.
crack a smile at all during that, and she like finishes and she looks tired, and I don't think it's necessarily meaning that she is gonna be completely miserable the rest of her life or something, but I do respect that she doesn't like finish playing and be like, wow, everything's great, this is all I need to do is just play the cello, and it's just like, no, because that's not
Very
reality. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very yes, she can have a fulfilling life, but it's not like, oh, problem solved, I just got out of the church. It's just like, okay, she's just gonna that ending means she's gonna keep on trucking even though it's hard. So I respect it.
I mean, he doesn't even say it's about like her finding this miracle. It's about finding the strength in your faith to keep going, which faith is faith. You find it wherever you find it. My grandma always said that. That being said,
I was going to say, I really like that scene where she stands up out of the wheelchair to grab something.
I was going to say that.
And Glenn Close just goes, it's a miracle. And she's like, I could always walk. It just
Martha.
hurts. It just
I could
hurts.
walk, Martha. Yeah, but I mean, I just wanted to add on my little 2 cents about kind of how I saw the vilification, but also there is the lighter side. And I think Jeffrey Wright's character kind of explains how when Judd does this, he's being sent there because he knows a guy like Judd can have a more positive effect in a community. What's he say about Wicks? He's 2 beads shy of a full rosary. I did not write that down, but I thought
That's not the right line.
Say that.
It's similar.
That's the
It's
gist of it.
close.
It's way off.
It-
It's
it
way,
does-
way off.
It doesn't
2
matter.
beads shy of a full rosary. Anyway,
Corey or Cole, on that topic though, of what you're talking about, like it shows both sides of it, the religion, and you kind of brought up that with Last Jedi, you brought up the scene that Luke has with Yoda, I think, right? Didn't you bring that up?
yeah.
And Corey, you said like Benoit Blanc is like Luke in the movie, with the even though he's not a believer by the end, he can recognize the positive effect it can have.
Yeah.
I think
And almost
that's-
believes in the positive effect that
Yes.
it has.
That Yoda
but not
scene-
necessarily believing.
that Yoda scene for me in this movie, it is, I love this scene, love it. When he is on
Watch this, Cole.
when he is on the phone with the
Father, can you pray for me?
like the construction equipment or whatever, the digging equipment, whatever, they're checking out who ordered the equipment to like open the tomb. And that woman is kind of, the phone call, it's kind of like a comedic bit early with the interruptions or her changing the subject of how hard it is for him to just get this simple info. And then that tone shifts sharply, but naturally, and not in a jarring, like, what are we doing here way, but in like a, oh, kind of like a sombering or a sobering way, I should say, not sombering, a sobering way of like she is genuinely going through something. She's clearly religious, and she's just got this guy on the phone. This is the comfort she can find. This is the positive effect that faith and religion can have. And Benoit is like at first like impatient, like what are you doing? Like what's going on? And then he respects
like,
it
wrap
enough.
it up, buddy.
He respects it enough just through voice alone with Judd that he's not gonna like, grab his arm and be like, come on, we need to go. He can see that there is something there that people need,
And then Judd has the revelation that he needs to like turn himself in after that, but Blanc can't reconcile that until the end of the film, which I think is an even better moment where he's about to give his pièce de résistance. He is about to give the speech to end all speeches, and then the light hits his face, and I don't know if you
we
know
do that
the
a few
tale.
times.
Yeah, there's a guy going to Damascus, and he gets blinded. He's a tax collector, and then he finds his faith, and God restores his sight.
Zach, would you believe me if I almost texted you 2 days ago saying, I bet Cole tells us the story of the man walking to Damascus? Would you believe me if I told you that right now?
But it's
pertinent.
It is pertinent.
pertinent.
I'm going to allow it. And that
No, it's fine. I was just
really
I had a bet. I was
really-
like,
I did spark notes. I spark notes to
really
for you.
quick note about you didn't need to spark note that we knew that story. We all went to Catholic school. You two guys are actually Catholic, but I still did the 9 years of Catholic school. And I feel like that's in the regular. That's not even like a Catholic thing. I think that's in like every Bible. That's every Christian Bible. Yeah. The one note about that scene, I think I said this on like a previous Knives Out episode, whether it was Glass Onion or the first one, I don't know. I did see Glass Onion, or I did see Wake Up Dead Man at the Netflix theater here, and it was like a Q&A with Rian Johnson and like Josh O'Connor, Kaylee Spaney, and Mila Kunis. There might have been another one there. I don't remember. Either way, one funny anecdote about this scene was they said like that scene where the light hits Benoit as he's about to, he's about to do his big grand, gotcha moment that he hypes up earlier in the movie, and then he doesn't, and references the road to Damascus. Rian Johnson said people asked him, wow, that's amazing, like, that the sun came out just at that moment. Did you plan that or whatever? And it's just like, oh my God, people don't know how movies are made. Like, that's...
So,
Are you aware that you can control
Zach is on
people,
his high horse.
I know. Well, no, I know some people might. There's a lot of stuff that goes on to crafting every single shot in movies, and I know some people might not think lighting is a thing. Maybe they saw Wicked for Good and didn't realize that people light movies and like it can be set up a certain way. But yeah,
Shots at Wicked for Good.
Yeah, I'll take a few more.
Second week in a row.
Yeah. But yeah, there's intention behind all. It's not really a subtle thing with the light coming in at all.
They go from gray to bright orange.
Yeah.
There's no like subtlety.
Yeah. Either way, I don't know. I think it works.
Sorry.
But Cole, before we leave the topic of religion, would you like to rank the world religions from least to most accurate?
I don't know them all, and how can you rank a religion for accuracy? There's faith is faith.
Might want to take some time away.
Hot take. Faith is faith. Hot take.
I do want to talk about. We talked about the ensemble,
Accuracy
and I
is
wanted
such
to
a
talk about
bad
one
word.
specific. I wanted to talk about one specific part of the ensemble before we really moved on and start, because I know we're talking about the mystery, and I do want to talk about that, but I wanted to talk about Josh O'Connor. His name. Yes. I wanted to talk about him, and I wanted to talk about how he is different from Janelle Monáe and how he is different than Ana de Armas.
Because he's a man.
Well, no, here's one
That's
thing.
fair.
I
That is
think
one difference.
Ana de Armas, of the three of them, Ana de Armas probably had the biggest role. If we were to do screen time lines, I think she probably had the biggest role. I think Josh O'Connor probably has the second, and then Janelle Monáe probably had the smallest one comparatively. But they're all play very similar roles in their respective movies. But I think in the second one, Benoit Blanc plays a much bigger part of the movie. I think he's more of the main character than Janelle Monáe. I think he's more of the main character than Miles Brown, than Edward Norton. I think Benoit Blanc probably is the main character in Glass Onion, and I think Marta Cabrera is the main character in Knives Out. And I think here, I think it's getting close, but I think I would probably give the main character award as like who had the most screen time, who had the most lines, I think I would give it to Father Judd. I think he is the main character, but I think it works because I think Benoit Blanc probably does better as just a 1B to a
Yeah.
movie. And I think maybe that's part of the reason he didn't work, or the movie took a step back in the last one, because they were worrying about him being A, and there's no one else that's really close. Like the next closest is number 2. Like it's not even like fighting really for the battle, because I mean, can you really fight against for the main character with the antagonist? Or are you just discovering like your two sides of the same coin of a movie? Because Miles Braun was the antagonist of the movie basically the entire time. He wasn't necessarily a good guy and ended up being the killer. But I think Benoit Blanc does better when he is not a proxy for the audience, but trying to move the story along, trying to uncover more in a sense, and then ultimately coming out at the last bit and saying like, here's everything that happened, and kind of doing his grand reveal. I think that's where he fits in the best. And I think he verts to the mean of where he should be in this movie. That being said, Josh O'Connor, I think he did a great job in this movie, and I think he was a great addition. I still think Ana de Armas is my favorite one of the 3, and I think if we would have gotten more of Janelle Monáe, it would have been a closer battle, but Josh O'Connor is probably second in that one. But I think that's more of a result of Janelle Monáe's character overall, like what she was given, and not what she did with it.
I really, on that last note there, Corey, I really think that I kind of put Father Judd almost on the same level as Marta, because
Really?
it really, I mean, oh man, I really love him as a character. I really do. I do think that's a big reason that
I will say we
this
did see a lot of similarities.
this Watson character, as we have in these 3 movies. I think he is more engaging to me than Janelle Monáe's was in Glass Onion. And again, we talked about it there. It's she's playing 2 different characters, and she's actually playing one
She's working
character
hard.
impersonating another one, and she's really serious for a lot of it, not talking a lot for a lot
Got a
of
lot
it.
going on.
It's odds stacked against her in this like comparison.
Yes.
And since I kind of put him on the same level as Marta, I feel like the familiarity with Marta, just having known Knives Out and spoiler alert, liking that original movie more overall, the fact that I look at them as kind of equal now makes me think that like I might, by like the tiniest bit, prefer Father Judd overall as like my favorite of these characters. I think he really is the strength of this movie. Like I really do love that character and what he represents within the themes that we're playing with religion, but also his charisma. I think he's really watchable. His dynamic with Benoit is good. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've only seen Josh O'Connor in Challengers, and I really loved Challengers, and I loved him in it. And now I'm really excited to see him in. He's in the new Steven Spielberg UFO movie coming out this summer. I think he's like one of the leads in that. So
That was a great trailer, by the way.
I actually didn't watch the trailer yet. I'm kind of always kind of torn on
really
whether or not to
good.
watch trailers for these things when I know I'm going to see
You
a movie.
shouldn't, but it was good.
Speaking of teasers and trailers, a lot of news come out with some leaked ones that I don't know. We might save it for the post-credit scene.
I'd say we save it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's no reason to bring it up right now in the middle of this this discussion.
Nah, let's bring it up now.
Yeah, it fits right. I just put that into the outline right in the middle of our discussion. We discussed the Doomsday leaks. Benoit in this movie, Corey, you talked about like who, if he's the protagonist, not whatever. I think Father Judd is the protagonist clearly in this movie, especially given that the first 40 minutes. I think we don't see, besides that opening shot with him, we don't see Daniel Craig till like 40 minutes into the movie. And we are just, Father Judd is taking us through this story. I think, though, at this movie, third one in the Knives Out trilogy, Benoit has the most to reckon with on a personal level than he does in the previous 2 movies. I mean, there's a shade of maybe guilt with the second one where he put Janelle Monáe's character into this situation by asking her to come, and then maybe when she gets shot for a moment and thinks she's dead, there is a real thing he has to reckon with. I almost kind of wish they went that route, but that would be a little too dark for these movies. But like that would actually give him as a character a lot to have to deal with, that he put her in that scenario. Either way, that's neither here nor there. I think in this movie, coming in, philosophically guns ablazing on religion, and then by the end of the movie, again, like I said, not a believer, but kind of come around to see what it can offer people and the good that it can bring. I really, and you can maybe make infer that like maybe his problems with religion, like you mentioned his mother, we know he's gay coming off the second movie. Maybe that was where a lot of his grievances come from. I mean, he lists all of them out, the violence committed in the name of religion at different points. Either way, he sees the negative. He sees the negative in the world against religion. And then by the end, he can see the good.
He's also referring to gay persecution.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Too.
Yeah. Yes, Corey.
They said he was gay in the last one?
Corey, he had a husband.
He's dating Hugh Grant. I think they were live-in partners. Semantics. He doesn't wear.
So I just took that as like, sometimes you just live with your buds. I don't know.
They got him listening to the Cats soundtrack in this movie. When they turn on the car, he's listening to like one of the songs from Cats.
So
You've listened to La La Land before, and I'm just like,
that doesn't make him gay.
No, it doesn't make him gay.
But the Hugh Grant thing probably,
I'm just saying they're writing him as a subtle enough gay man, I think is the point.
Let's check this off. Loves musicals and listens to the songs on their own. Zach
has a husband. Has a husband.
No, well, I was
Zach,
gonna say
you have one of those, don't you?
Lives with someone from the UK or from Europe. That's also
something I've done.
That Zach checks off.
I'm missing the big one, which is has a husband, but I guess 2 of the 3.
They don't say he's married, dude.
Okay, has a live-in partner. I'm so sorry. There's no way that's just his platonic roommate. That's not.
I'm not saying he's his platonic roommate.
Okay, and there's also that in the interview, Rian Johnson did also say Benoit Blanc is gay. There is also Rian Johnson literally saying
That's fine.
I should have probably let off with that. I didn't know it was going to become a big debate.
Well, no, I wasn't debating. I was also, for the Hugh Grant thing, when he answers the door, I think I mainly attributed that to, like, he was also playing Among Us with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And so I'm like, okay, it's just one of these. They're just throwing anyone and everyone into this. Like, that was my thinking.
I think you're going to take some time away. I think.
No, I
for your
don't
media
care.
literacy.
I just didn't know that they have them.
I don't care about gay people so much. I don't even think they're gay. That's what you're.
I just thought he loved musicals and he was a flamboyant man.
So the impossible crime.
Yes.
Corey, did you write that down?
It is really I wrote all this down. It really is interesting.
Zach control the episode.
Well, you guys literally were like, I can take control at any point. I won't. So I did. While sitting in traffic, it was a lot of fun. So the crime in this, like the thing that we're trying to solve, it literally is like, impossible he went into a room by himself, got stabbed, and drops. And it's, obviously we as audience members are like, okay, clearly something happened. Everyone in the movie knows something happened. I know some people are trying to say like, oh, struck down by the devil, but that's Glenn Close and she's trying to like set up her narrative. Do you think the explanation to how crazy of a crime this was, did that work for you? Because I almost felt like the weakest aspect of this movie is I think by the time we get through the explanation, I was struggling to care. Like it was just like a lot of variables, a lot of moving parts. It didn't feel as clever as the previous 2 movies did. It felt like, we set up something pretty crazy to happen, and here's it's not impossible, but here's all the things that had to play a role in it happening, and it's a lot. It didn't feel quite as satisfying. I'd say is the easiest way for me to put it.
I was gonna say, I do think that when they were explaining it, my initial thought was this felt like one of the explanations that they get through before they get to like, okay, how did it actually happen though? When he was saying, and then Jeremy Renner did this, and then Glenn Close did this, I was like, okay, it's a lot of that weak sauce, that weak sauce that
pouring on that weak sauce. Lieutenant Elliot referenced in this movie.
I caught that. I liked that. Did you also catch the iPad? He kept the iPad from Glass Onion. He's on his iPad. Benoit is.
Was he?
Yeah, I liked that.
I didn't notice. I didn't catch that one either.
Actually, don't need an iPad.
But what about you guys? What did you think of it?
I mean,
or Cole? I'm sorry, Zach already went.
For me, it's the uncovering of the mystery is why I love these movies. So the murder leads into that. which, like I said, I don't watch these movies to see who's going to die. I watch these movies to see how Blanc's going to figure it out. Yes, the crime is a little far-fetched, but I love the idea that they went through all this time to use like the signal for the blood to come out, which you can also see the wolf's head when he's originally walking in. Rian Johnson.
If you go back and look, you can see it there.
Yeah, and Rian Johnson, of course, does that when he has Edward Norton handing the glass to Duke. It doesn't really bother me because I love these characters and I love the way they're written, and these are effectively character-driven stories that I'm more than willing to watch if you write great characters. So, I said characters a lot, so sorry.
Is this what you thought was going to happen? Is this who you thought did it?
No, I didn't think this was going to be how the murder went down. I didn't think Glenn Close would be the killer. Not the second name.
We did break the second name thing. And tell you what, halfway through the movie, when Benoit reads that letter and then stands up and looks at Josh O'Connor and goes, "Why'd you do it?" I was like, damn it, stop it with the second name. I was actually like mad. I was like, someone's got to tell marketing department, can't do it. We can't put his name there. I'm sorry. We got to move his name.
His name
I
anywhere
beg
else.
you. Thank God. We just got to third now. So be on the, it could be any of the names going forward. I'll tell you what. Once the murder happened, I did not know how it happened. I liked the idea of a false door, but then they kind of, shut that idea down pretty quickly, or a false wall that they move out later, I should say. That they said that, okay, not an option either. I did enjoy them working through that process. I was skeptical of Glenn Close so early, though. Like, the second that they talked about a missing fortune, and then they talked about the Lazarus tomb, I was like, I whispered to George, my roommate, who I saw it with in theater. I was like, in hindsight,
Your British roommate.
My
Yes.
platonic. In hindsight, a dick move to do this in a mystery movie because you don't want. But I did whisper. I was like, I guarantee you, the fortune is in that tomb. I guarantee it. And obviously it was. And then like Glenn Close reciting the story of Glenn Close reciting the story of the harlot whore, or whatever, and being like, I whispered in her ear, blah, 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 whatever message that she lied about whispering. And the fact that we don't hear it in the flashback, I like whispered to George, like, Glenn Close did it. Like the fact, like, when there's like, we hadn't even gotten to like the murder yet. I didn't, so I don't know. I avoided the trailers and the teasers completely. So I didn't know who was going to be the death. I assumed it was probably going to be Josh Brolin, but I couldn't tell you. I assumed him or Thomas Hayden Church. But yeah, so I early on,
Both right.
I was highly suspicious of Glenn Close, but the context of the murder hadn't even happened yet, so I can't lie and be like, I knew it was her and what she did and all that, and obviously the Jeremy Renner aspect and the acid and all that. By that point, I'm just along for the ride. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was pretty skeptical of her entire recount of the harlot whore. That put me on edge right away on her. I was like, I don't buy this.
I was thinking as soon as he died, or after he died and was going through all of this, I was like, I bet Josh Brolin did this and he's still alive somehow. But then I was like, how would that
Once
work?
we saw the body, though, I was like, well,
once they did they just like plop the body back down.
Wiggly, jiggly, wiggly, whatever.
Yeah, and he's
Daniel
just
Craig's
shaking his
doing.
belly.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, it's either Josh O'Connor or Josh Brolin. Like, I was like, it's one of those two. That's who I thought initially. So I got it completely wrong. I thought Martha. No, that's already here.
Yeah, Martha.
It is Martha? Anyway, I thought Martha was like meant to be scary and like try to like
Her
throw
intro
you
is
off.
great. Her intro is great though. Like, oh, I see you've met Martha.
I've seen you met Martha.
Nope, haven't. Just
I watched watched a breakdown, and it's the one time you can actually see her coming. Like, she doesn't just really truly appear out of thin air as her final confession,
Zach, you had a really fun question here. Do you want to ask it?
I had a few. Which
What
one are you
is
referring to?
God?
I was talking about the possible fourth Knives Out movie, which is neither confirmed nor talked about yet.
Right.
What character?
Yeah, so there's a few different things. Just talk about what you'd want from a fourth Knives Out. So I guess the first question in that is there an actor out there, that you'd want to see in a Knives Out ensemble? And if you have an answer, I honestly forgot I wrote this question, so I don't really have a great answer off the top of my head. So if you guys go first, I can find one. But would you want them to be a suspect or, the Watson character or the fill-in, assuming that there is one?
I have one.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's.
Cole, are you okay if I go first?
No, but go ahead.
Okay, good. I was thinking of Kieran Culkin. I think he would be really good as a Watson character with Benoit Blanc. But I also, Zach, going through this, because I didn't really look at this until, earlier today, but when you wrote down, this is the most we get of Benoit Blanc from a personal level, I think it'd be very, very interesting if the next one, maybe he's not like the main character still. I think he does do best as a 1B, but it takes place with like his family. And he's solving a murder or a crime.
That would
with
raise the
his
stakes.
family.
That would raise the stakes.
That would raise the stakes. It would be very emotional. We'd get
different.
a lot out of him. Yeah. And I think you can go simple there too. Like it doesn't have to be anything crazy. I don't think he comes from a lot of money. So maybe it's not even money that you're going for. Like that's the bane of it. But I think that and having Kieran Culkin being the Watson character would be really funny because I think him and Benoit would do really well. And maybe it's like he's like an actual Watson character where he's like the local police guy, and like that's how. So he's like actually trying to
similar to Elliot and Geraldine,
but like
he actually
a mix
helps.
between Elliot and like Marta. So it's like it could be involved, but he's also like a police officer. So he's not like a family member. And that's why Benoit is like says, I need your help in this. Like, cause I don't want my family to help me, but you're like a police officer. You're also close enough to this that you can help me see more. So I think that would be a very fun story.
Corey, I do have a stipulation here. Because this is Blanc's family, I assume this would be his hometown. Do you expect Kieran Culkin to throw on the Blanc type Southern drawl?
He can be a police officer from anywhere, and he's just like, I love Savannah. He comes in and he's just like,
I love Savannah. Because Blanc's not from Savannah. He never.
I don't know.
Cole,
but that's why he moved there.
Who do you think, Cole? Do you have someone in mind, Cole?
I have someone just to play off, like one of those silly side characters to play off him would be Tom Hardy. He was one of the people I originally heard was gonna be in this movie back when all the casting rumors were going around and before they like tied it all together. I think he would just be hilarious to play off of Daniel Craig because Tom Hardy can do like slapstick funny really well. And I think Blanc having to deal with someone who can play unhinged like Hardy can, because most of these people, they have a couple of screws loose, but they're still mostly like, reasonable people. I think you give Tom Hardy just the green light to be fun type of crazy the way he is like Alfie Solomon's in Peaky Blinders, and you just let him go ham playing opposite Benoit Blanc. But I think you have them as rival cops, like rival detectives.
Okay.
Blanc has to deal with the absurdity to his absurdity.
Think that's interesting, Cole, because I kind of was going to take it in a similar avenue there with like the Watson character. And like, so the Watson characters we have Ana de Armas, Janelle Monáe, and Josh O'Connor, all younger than Benoit. And like Benoit is like the more established, kind of more adult, serious character in all of these, a little bit more grounded. What if we completely turned that on its head? And what if the Watson character was someone older than Daniel Craig? And I was thinking, and here's the thing. I would say this would never happen, but then this guy starred in a little movie that I loved, we all loved, called Captain America: Brave New World. What if Harrison Ford and Daniel Craig
still acting
were working side by side to solve a crime? And here's the thing: is if Harrison Ford's in this movie, I don't want him to be like the Josh Brolin character, where he shows up, has some really fun scenes, and then dead. And we're solving his murder. I would want him to be the one working with Benoit and like actually make it a co-lead movie with these two. That's, I'm being greedy. I'm being a greedy boy. That's never going to happen. This would be too beautiful, too amazing for anyone to really actually make happen. But
Harrison Ford is
So if
starring
you're
in a TV
listening-
show right now.
yeah, well, I'll tell you what.
So Zach, you bring up Harrison Ford, and I just see his character from Shrinking every Schwinking. Yeah, every chance he gets, he just looks at Blanc like, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, that's why it would be fun. Another older gentleman. I don't know if this guy would have to be the Watson. It could be fun. But, there was a Bond reunion in this movie with Daniel Craig and Jeffrey Wright, of course, who plays Felix Leiter in 3 of his Bond movies. What if we brought back another character from that, and Christoph Waltz? I think he would be a fun character, whether he's on the suspect list or the Watson. I think I would enjoy Christoph Waltz in a Knives Out movie. I think that would be a lot of fun. You can go anywhere with that type of character. And if I was going to say a couple younger castmates, I'd say you could do a Last Jedi reunion with Rian Johnson. I think Adam Driver in any movie is great, but Adam Driver in a Knives Out movie would be a lot of fun. Make that happen. I think that's probably the most realistic one. Actually, no, here's one. And almost to the point where I would almost put even money on her being in one of the next 2 Knives Out movies. She seems destined for it. Catherine Newton. I don't know how familiar you are with her. She's been in a lot of horror movies. She was Lisa Frankenstein. What else has Catherine Newton been in?
Ready or she's going to be
in
in
the new Ready
or
or
Not.
Yeah. She's playing Samara Weaving's sister, I believe.
She was in Abigail. She was Cassie Lang in a trilogy that we covered.
Yeah. I forgot that she was in that. Oddly enough, the biggest budget movie she was in is the one that I keep forgetting she was in. But yeah, it's the smaller stuff.
So cool.
She's great. She was also really good in Freaky. That's the other horror one I'm not thinking of. She's really good in that too. But yeah, I think Catherine Newton in the Knives Out movie makes a lot of sense. Just someone on the suspect list. If I'm talking about what I would a setting switch, in the interview that I listened to with Rian Johnson, he mentioned one setting he played with that obviously he didn't go this route, but was Broadway, to bring it back to the Cats music in his car. And also one of my favorite movies in this movie, one of my favorite moments in this movie is when he interrupts Father Judd by playing Phantom of the Opera for a second there. That was really funny. I had a lot of fun with that.
Further proof
that he's gay, according to Zach.
Okay. All right. I think a Broadway thing would be cool. But my idea, and this would be a total vibe switch. We've done kind of Thanksgiving vibes, fallish vibes, and, we had a big summer movie with Glass Onion. I want to keep it in the fall here, but really hammer home the Halloween nature of it. And maybe one of those, cornfield haunts that people put on, kind of in St. Louis, The Darkness or Creepy World, to put it in terms like that, but a haunted house attraction, let's say, and then you get a lot of theatrical characters set in that setting of it would be fun. The way that the first Knives Out is set on a clue board, as Lieutenant Elliot says, this movie is set in a haunted house, quote unquote. And you kind of change the formula there. But there's moments in this movie where it's kind of horror movie oriented with certain scenes with the resurrection angle of it. I think that was kind of so. Yeah, I think that was directed a certain way. I think you can play that up more in this. And honestly, the one thing we haven't done is, eventually, like Cole said, it came back to money in this one, and money is obviously a big factor in the previous 2 movies. I want a motive that doesn't have anything to do with money. Maybe it really was just old-fashioned revenge or psycho behavior or anything
Someone
else.
wanted the girl or something like that.
Anything else. Yeah. I think that needs a switch up.
I love a score.
Yeah, sure. I think a haunted house, a quote unquote haunted house, people putting on a show in that regard, that would be a fun setting for a Benoit Blanc mystery, I think. Midwest.
This was supposed to be a fake knife.
Yeah. Well, we've done that, with the first one. Midwest it up. Midwest it up. We've done Northeast. We've done Northeast twice now, and then we did Grease and Glass Onion. So let's switch it up. And I don't want it to be I feel like one obvious thing would be people would be a Hollywood set one. No, out, please. No. I'm done with it. Don't do it.
Everything's in
Hollywood. Okay, so I wanna add on to your guys. Zach, I want to add on to this real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you had to have one of these people come back for revenge on Blanc, who would you bring back?
One of the killers that he puts away?
One of the killers, one of the people that's affected by what he does. Could be Kaylee Spaney, could be
that wouldn't make sense.
Michael Shannon.
Well, then I think
could be Ransom.
It would have to be
Well, I was
Ransom.
gonna
That's
say,
the
I
only
think
person
Jamie
who
Lee-
really Ransomer.
I was gonna say Jamie Lee Curtis's character coming back, like, you're the reason that my family
my
lost its
son is in
fortune.
jail.
Yeah, I think that would be a
My
realistic.
husband cheated on me.
Love Jamie Lee Curtis, and I think that would be a good one. Or Miles Brown coming back and be like, I paid my way out of jail, or something like that. I don't know. Maybe
I
that
say
would be too
Madeline
much.
Klein coming back from Glass Onion.
Sorry, feminists. Yeah, sorry, feminists.
That
Oops.
wouldn't mind that.
What if she's what if we get a little snippet referring back to her and it's like she's finally running for public office?
Madeline Klein.
She references it in the
Or
movie.
Tequila? Is that her name? What's her name?
Great name.
Jesus.
I'm Tequila, and I'm
Whiskey,
running for
whiskey,
Tennessee's
whiskey,
second.
whiskey.
I'm Whiskey, and I'm running
Yeah.
for Tennessee's second.
Tequila. The fact that I was like, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's right.
Sounded right. On to the awards season.
Apparently they strayed off course, and we're fairly certain they're in guerrilla hands.
So why don't you use the regular army? What do you need us for?
Because some damn fool accused you of being the best.
Zach, why don't you go first, and then I'll go second.
Where did I put this part? Josh O'Connor, for all the reasons we were talking about. I think I probably should have saved this take for this part of the episode, but like I said, I think he might be my favorite Watson character of these three movies. I think he's the heart of this movie. I think he's kind of like, even though, like I said, like the mystery of this movie kind of might be my least favorite of the three, at least by the time we get to the explanation. I don't care that as much because I think the character that we're grounded with here, specifically Father Judd, him and his relationship with his faith and with Benoit Blanc, I think that is what matters the most to me with this movie. That and also like the vibes of this movie. I think this movie might be the best looking Knives Out movie of the three. I think it grounding it with his performance is a big part of why this movie works really well for me. So yeah, Josh O'Connor is my MVP of Wake Up Dead Man.
So Corey,
pick.
you're gonna
Good
go
pick.
next.
Yeah, my pick, grounding it with his performance, that definitely was. My MVP, I wrote down two, and I'm kind of teetering between them. Zach didn't take either, but I think I'm going to pick Josh Brolin. Josh Brolin, I mean, he is kind of the other side of the coin to Josh O'Connor. Josh O'Connor's character, where Josh O'Connor's character is more of like what religion tries to be and what like the people that fall in love with religion are falling in love with. But Josh Brolin is more of like the powerhouse and like the anger and the strength of what religion is. You know, for all of like everything that he was doing, I could feel the power. I could feel the strength. Even when he was talking about masturbating in the bathroom, you know, got to talk about that. When he was talking about that and he is confessing that to
That's
Father
it, boy, masturbating in the bathroom.
Yeah, when he was talking about that to Father Judd, I mean, like maybe not, there wasn't like necessarily power then, but his voice has so much power, and I think he was like a perfect casting, and I think he very much exuded that power and that strength when he was yelling on the podium at the people in the pews. It's like, oh my gosh, like you almost get a little bit scared and like kind of going into that horror aspect
coming out of his mouth.
Yeah, but like it really, like that horror aspect that Zach was talking about was specifically when he was resurrected. I think you saw that too when he's doing scenes like that. Like there, you can see some aspect of horror in there, and he just plays it so well. So Josh Brolin was definitely one of the major positives for me, and he was one of my favorite parts.
Well, you both took my MVPs, so I'm gonna go.
But you also
with...
had Josh Brolin on there?
Yeah, he was great.
Okay, good. I'm glad I wasn't alone.
I would love to do Jeffrey Wright, but he wasn't in the movie enough. So shout out to Jeffrey Wright for the few scenes he was in. He was great. I'm gonna go Steve Yedlin, the cinematographer. Like we've said, this movie looks phenomenal. There's something about it that can go from gray to bright colors in such a quick and astounding way. And I think that's so important in a movie like this, where faith, like we said, is a very key component. And something about faith is the metaphor of being brought into the light. And the way this movie shot, you are brought into the light, so to speak, a lot. And it's done really well, and it looks fucking phenomenal. So I'm going Steve Yedlin, the cinematographer.
On to
what were your guys'
Producer.
MVPs?
I had Josh Brolin.
was my number two.
I have Steve
Yeah, it's really
Yedlin, the cinematographer.
Cool. What did you think of this movie?
Where'd you go, Zachy? Zachy, where'd you go? Duplicity abounds in this delectable end to this ferociously carefully crafted motion picture that has me hungering for another. 4.25 out of 5.
Whoa. And what's your series rankings?
I'm going to go Knives Out, Wake Up Dead Man, Glass Onion.
Good rank. I'll go. A wild ride that grabs you, shakes you, and flips you upside down as it's massaging your belly. 3.75 out of 5.
Ooh.
And then mine is exactly the same. Knives Out, Wake Up Dead Man, and Glass Onion.
Could have come up with your own opinion, but I respect it.
I didn't. I actually didn't have that one written down. Had to go off the top of the dome for that one. Forgot to write that one down. But that one's not hard. I don't think it's necessarily a hot take about that one. Let's give
that being said, none of these movies are bad. They're all enjoyable in their own specific way. I think Glass Onion is the one I won't find myself coming back to the most.
Yeah, probably not.
Because, like you guys mentioned, it's pretty time-stamped, but it's also, I don't know, the characters just don't have the same gravity that these ones do for me. But
Zach.
Yeah, Zach, what's your review and franchise rankings?
Can you guys tell me what yours were? I'm curious.
I gave it a 3.75 out of 5.
5 out of 5?
I gave it a 4 point.
Nope, you can't hear me. I said a 3.75 out of 5.
It's actually really reasonable.
I gave it a 4.25 out of 5, a little less than what I gave Knives Out.
How about that? Okay, I hope this isn't blasphemous. This might count as blasphemous. But our Daniel Craig.
We're already going to hell. Just get it over.
Sorry, feminists.
And gay people. Zach's very sorry to the gays.
Okay,
today.
let him go before he gets booted.
You're hammering that one home pretty hard. Our Daniel Craig, art and film, hallowed be thy name. 3.75 out of 5. I thought.
So you give it the exact same ranking, guys.
I thought about doing the whole prayer
That's
and
okay.
subbing in Wake Up Dead Man
Zach's
stuff.
gone.
But I was like that
On
might
to
I think keeping it simple.
The post credits.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.
Scene. Cole, before we get into what we've been watching, the next movie we will be covering is Avatar Fire and Ash. I don't know if you've been paying attention to early reviews of this. Have you been trying to avoid it? Because I did not. I don't know if it was on purpose.
I didn't try to avoid it because, I mean, I don't go to Avatar for the reviews. I go to it for the visuals. No, I'm kidding. I do go to it for the reviews.
But so the reviews I saw, at least the summarized version, was a story. If you don't want to hear this, skip ahead a minute or something like that. But gosh, now I gotta cut this. I'm saying cool side about the Glass Onion. Anyway, if you don't want to hear this, skip forward about a minute. But it said a story we've heard before, but visually incredible all the same. So I'm here for it. But yeah, Fire and Ash, that comes out on December 19th. This episode will be out by that time, so hopefully you've seen it. Hopefully you can go still see it in theaters. But yeah. Cole, have you been watching anything?
Nothing worth mentioning. I mean, just because I've seen a bunch of YouTube clips pop up, I did start watching 2.5 Men, just a few episodes of 2.5 Men again.
Interesting. Watch Mad Men. That's what you should get into. Watch Mad Men.
I don't know what it is about Charlie Sheen in 2.5 Men because his character is, in the most elegant terms, a piece of shit. But I can't help but actually want to just keep watching him. I don't know what it is. And Charlie's not a great guy.
I was gonna say that was part of the reason I watched a few episodes and then never went back to it because I was I don't really like Charlie Sheen.
Charlie's a piece of shit and he corrupts everyone around him, but I just can't stop watching.
I watched F1. F1's really great. I think I want to watch it again. I had to watch it in 2 parts because I was watching and then I had to step away. But I think I want to watch it again, try to get all the way through it in one sitting. It's been less and less common these days. But then I also started watching Landman. I'm almost done with season 1 there.
Heard it's really good. Heard good things.
I had an idea of what it was before I started watching it, because like you know how you, like those popular shows, you kind of have like in your head what it's going to be about, and then I've heard like things about it recently, and my dad really wanted to watch it, and so I was like, you know what, I'll give it a watch, and I watched it. It's exactly what I had in my head. There's no difference about it. What I was expecting is exactly what I'm getting, but I didn't have a bad idea in my head. It was just exactly what I'm getting. I don't know if I'd recommend it yet. I mean, if you like that kind of, if that's like up your alley, then yeah, if it's if it's like that genre very, very well, and it's definitely a positive, like everyone's good in it, but I don't know.
Is it the typical Taylor Sheridan show that's just like incredibly character driven and like fucking God.
Yeah.
Pathetic.
I heard a review that his daughter's storyline sounds like it's coming right out of like a sitcom, and that's very true. But yeah,
That's
Zach.
That's how it was with like the side characters in Yellowstone. It felt like the big family drama was like the big thing, and then when you got to the bunkhouse, it was like,
I don't know. I love the bunkhouse.
Just guys horsing around, being dudes.
But that wasn't necessarily sitcom. Like her stories are like, I'm trying to think of a good one. I'm in the middle of one right now where she's like going on a date with a guy, and like it's really no stakes. Like her brother's got stakes, everyone else has got stakes going on, but she's real. Like her stakes are like, is this guy gonna ask me to be his girlfriend? It's like stuff like that. It's like Billy Bob Thornton is going through, am I gonna get shot at work? And so it's a very like. It's very, you know, it's a lot of back and forth. But that's all we have. Again, Avatar: Fire and Ash in theaters December 19th. I don't know when it comes on Disney Plus, but that shouldn't matter. Go watch it in theaters.
Yeah, we had the conversation. It's a movie meant to be seen in theaters. Please go see it in theaters, because James Cameron's gonna quit if you don't.
He's gonna quit? He's not gonna finish 4 and 5?
He sounds pretty beaten down, and in an interview he was like, look, it costs a lot of money to make, and you gotta make a lot of money to make a profit.
Well, then he better like put this one where it can at least end and like make sense to end. Like I think he did that with the first one, but he like always promised the second one. Anyway, I'm excited for it, and I'm excited for 4 and 5. I'm hoping 4 and 5. I really hope they happen to begin with.
The pee-pee poo-poo man is back.
Zach, have you been watching anything recently, really quick?
Say it.
I changed my name to see if Riverside will let me stay. It'll be looking to kick out anyone named Zach, and now I've changed my name to see if it'll let me stay.
I heard the pee-pee poo-poo man is looking
I saw
for
Hamnet. I saw Hamnet. The new Paul Mescal, Jesse Buckley movie. All I'll say about it's kind of like Shakespeare in Love, except for Hamlet instead of Romeo and Juliet, and it's about being sad. So Shakespeare and grief. It's really good. It's probably gonna get nominated for best picture, so I would highly recommend that you see it. My one big note about it, I'll give to keep it brief. Jessie Buckley, I think she's incredible. I think I'm a big Jessie Buckley head. I think from here on out, she's so good in this movie. She should probably get a Best Actress nomination, if not a win.
Note implies criticism. I like that.
I would bring up other things I've watched, but we're gonna save it. I think I'm gonna save it because I've been watching a lot of things that are on a specific theme that we're gonna talk about with a very near episode. So
okay, I was gonna say franchises.
We're talking about a movie franchise.
No.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll get to that.
Thank you for joining us for. Sorry, go.
Nope, done.
I was just gonna thank the audience. Well, thank you everyone for watching and joining us again. Thank you for listening along. Again, go watch Avatar: Fire and Ash for our next episode. And until then, just keep watching movies.